You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Technical difficulties. We're just going to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. My name is Brandon the Franchise Buck, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the owner of the world. And welcome to episode 80 of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Folks, what can I say? What can I say? For those of you who are Nick Wright fans, welcome to the show. For those of you who are not, this is going to be an unbearable show because it is Chiefs time again. Repeat from 2 years ago, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs in New Orleans for the Super Bowl here in 2 weeks. Is going to be a great show. First and foremost, we have to take care of our sponsors. We've got to take care of the people that take care of us. Let's go ahead and talk about it right quick. Premium jerky, brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, as well as Seal the Deal wax seals. Excuse me. Also, IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Mental health is so important. I can't express that enough. It is so important to get that checked. Man, woman, child, it does not matter. Folks, we're going to be right back. Stay tuned right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Folks, we are back for another episode of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What a 24 hours for all Kansas City Chiefs fans and football fans and everything in between. I know that I did not go to bed until about maybe 6, 7 o'clock this morning, and then I don't even know what time I woke up. So needless to say, today has been an absolute just crazy day and what have you. First and foremost, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. Taryn, good afternoon, franchise. Have a great show. Thank you very much, Taryn. It's a little bit of a rocky start so far, as a lot of my audio is not working, but that's okay. As long as everybody can see me and as long as everybody can hear me, that's all that matters to me, honestly. But let's see here. I don't even know, guys. Like, where do we begin? Where do we begin here? Like, I mean, oh God, what here's the thing. Here's the thing. I yeah, how do I explain this? I know that there's a lot of people, maybe even during the New England era, when it just seemed like, oh, there's just another day for us to go to the Super Bowl, blah 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 blah, yak 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 yak. But the fact of the matter is, it's still so special. It is still absolutely so special. And I mean, when it comes right down to it, uh, it's just what can you do? Where do you go from here? Um, well, the annual Kansas City Chiefs Invitationals is off to a great start for the Chiefs. Only one team stands in their way. You know, I appreciate that. I do. I know you and the vast majority of the team is sick and tired of the Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl again. However, I'm sure that you could imagine, just like everybody else, that when it comes right down to it, it's always special to see your team that you grew up with as a kid to make it to the Super Bowl and all that jazz. And I tell you, I could not be any more happy. Now, let me tell you, it is absolutely cringe that I I'm at work and I'm not allowed. And if you're watching this live on the YouTube, that's you see me doing the thing. But I mean, it's absolutely cringe when I first off I get permission to watch the game because everybody at my office knows how much of a Chiefs fan I am, and then on on the second off of that is I am with a bunch of guys that don't know nothing about football. It is absolutely asinine. It's absolutely crazy. I get it. I get it. I mean, not everybody can be the quote unquote all American and watch football and just know what's going on back and forth. I get it, but also in the same sense, come on, guys. Like y'all are just killing me here. What do I mean by that? No, there, there's here's the thing. Um, but uh how do I even go about this? So I mean, I'm talking to one guy to my left. He knows nothing about football. Like he even asked me, like, "Oh, you're allowed to do a 2-point conversion? When did that happen?" If you're watching this live on the YouTube, you can see my expression on the face. Um, and so I had to explain to him this and that. And then when Buffalo scored with that diving um, jump into the end zone, and they're like, "Well, he hit his knee, so what does that mean?" I'm like, "They were trying to stop him." That, and then God bless them. My other dispatcher is from India, so he's from my native land, and uh, he God bless him. He's doing his best. He's doing all this jazz and whatnot, and he doesn't know left or right when it comes to football, other than that the Chiefs are great, which I which I appreciate. Um, but he I have to explain some stuff to him, and then of course you have the original guy who's talking to me and he's egging me on like, "Oh, the Bills are coming back." I'm like, shut the up. I mean, like, now is not the time to talk to me when things are getting a little bit rough right now. But in the end all be all, it favored, and it went in our way, and lo and behold, for another year, for the third straight year, something that's never happened before, um the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl to have a rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles from 2 years ago, and I am absolutely just smitten. I am ready to go with this. I am so happy that we've gotten to this point in our lifetime, in our fandom, and I mean, it's just, what can you say? What can you say about it? It's just, I'm excited. Taryn, he's commenting. He's saying his stuff best. Steve Begnolu is the MVC, most valuable coordinator. Yes, he is, and I believe I saw a tidbit that he is the only coach per se that is won 4 um, Super Bowls with whatever team that he is with. So that's another tidbit on this. I want to read something before we go into another commercial break, because long story short, guys, this is going to be a pretty easy show. We're not going to get too crazy or anything like that, but I want to read something here. Just a little stat that I got from back in 2019. And so I'm just going to read this off. And I think anybody who is a Chiefs fan will understand exactly where I'm going with this. The caption reads, "If you aren't a die-hard Chiefs fan, let me explain why this is so special. 1990, overtime wildcard loss to Miami. 1991, division loss to the Bills. 1992, wildcard loss to the Chargers. 1993, the Joe Montana game. Championship game loss to the Bills. 1994, wildcard loss to Miami. 1995, the kicker that will remain nameless as long as I'm breathing, makes us lose to the Colts. 1997, divisional loss to the Broncos. 2003, no punt game, divisional loss to the Colts. 2006, wild card loss to the Colts. 2010, wild card loss to the Ravens. 2013, up 38-10, only to lose to the Colts. 2013, divisional loss to the Patriots. 2016, divisional loss to Pittsburgh. 2017, wild card loss to the Titans. 2018, overtime offsides D Ford championship loss to the Patriots. 2019, it was in question marks, but indubitably did, Super Bowl. This is why it was so special, because of all that torment, all that trauma as a Chiefs Kingdom fan, and then moving on up and finally getting to the dance, and then ultimately, you know, what was it? We lost to the Buccaneers, and then we came back and beat the 49ers. Did it again, beat the Eagles, did it again, beat the 49ers. And now we have a chance to not only beat the Eagles again in a rematch from 2 years ago, but be the first team in the history of ever to do a back-to-back concession of Super Bowl wins. That's how big this thing is. I understand people are bitching and moaning about the refs. That's loser mentality. I understand people are bitching and moaning that the Chiefs are cheaters. That's loser mentality. Show me where they cheated. You can't. You won't. You will not show me, because you won't be able to show anything, because you can't. So people are sick and tired of Taylor. Guess what, Marks? In a 3.5-hour broadcast, she is literally shown for a grand total of 30 seconds. She's not ruining anything. If anything, she's upping up the ratings and the stock for the NFL. You're welcome. What else? What else can I say about it? I can go on and on and on. Trust me, I've got 30 minutes. I can do this whatever. But I'm going to save my breath, and I'm going to get a little sippy of water here because I am parched. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned. And for the love of everything holy, if you want to be a part of the show, please comment in the chat room. I would love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to somebody other than Lucky, who is causing a destruction. Toddlers, what are you going to do? This is KC Sports right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo sports with a twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. My name is Brandon the Franchise Buck, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the owner of the world. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. I apologize for last week. Things got a little rocky on my side. There's just way too much going on. Way too much going on. And I think anybody that understands when it comes to life events, you definitely understand that. I got to tell you about it. Let's see here. I am, I just lost my train of thought here. So basically, getting a passport is different. I've never experienced that at all. So long story short, obviously anybody who's followed this show, this and that, yada, 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 you kind of know the story. If you don't, not a big deal. I was originally born in Calcutta, India, but I was adopted when I was 6 weeks old, and I've been into the States ever since. Naturalized, citizenized, all that jazz, yeah. I get to the post office with my girlfriend, and the postmaster is just kind of looking. She's kind of looking at my naturalization forms and this and that, and she's like, "Huh, this is kind of funny." And I'm like, "Why is that?" And I felt like I couldn't be myself and make some jokes because we're in a post office, and But anyways, she basically told me that it's kind of unheard of for somebody to deliver naturalization and a U.S. citizenship when getting their passport and what have you. That was just crazy in itself. I mean, we had to take the little gimmicks pictures over at the Walgreens, and then go over to the post office and do do all that jazz and what have you. So I mean, it was an experience in itself, and the missus is the one that's in charge of the tracking and all that jazz. So we're going to get that figured out, and your boy might eventually be doing a broadcast outside of the States. Who knows? That'll be kind of cool, right? Let's see here. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm getting distracted with my cat just going absolutely insane. Let's go and talk about the game while we still have some time here. This game, indefinitely, it was special. It was absolutely special for all the right reasons. Why? For all the right reasons. Because of the fact that it was just a crazy game. It was an absolutely crazy game. I'm going to be going from left to right. So in this case, the Bills, the Chiefs. Let's just give you some stats here. Out of total yards, 374 Bills, 368 Chiefs. Passing yards, 227 Bills, 233 Chiefs. Rushing yards, 147 Bills, 135 Chiefs. Yards per play, 5.5 for the Bills, 5.8 for the Chiefs. Now for first downs, 22 for the Bills, 28 for the Chiefs. Third down efficiency, 5 out of 14 for the Bills, 5 out of 9 for the Chiefs. Fourth down efficiency, 4 out of 6 for the Bills, 1 out of 1 for the Chiefs. Total plays, 68 for the Bills, 63 for the Chiefs. Sacks allowed, 2 for both teams. Punts, 2 for both teams. Penalties, 6 penalties for the Bills, which accumulated to 48 yards. 5 penalties for the Chiefs, which accumulated to 21 yards. 1 fumble loss for the Chiefs. No interceptions. Time of possession, 30 minutes and 32 seconds for the Bills. 29 minutes and 28 seconds for the Chiefs. Looking at player stats, Josh Allen, 22 out of 34. 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looking at Pat, 18 out of 26, 245 yards, 1 touchdown. It just goes on and on. Cook, 13 carries, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kareem, 17 carries, 64 yards, 1 touchdown. Pat had 2 touchdowns for 43 yards. Xavier Worthy, 2 carries, 16 yards. And Isaiah Pacheco, 5 carries for 12 yards. That's for rushing. Josh Allen had 11 carries for 39 yards. Johnson had 6 for 19, and Davis had 2 for 4. When it comes to receiving, Mr. Mac Animal Hollins, which that was a bold outfit that he had on. 3 receptions for 73 yards, 1 touchdown. And then you had Samuel for 1 reception, 4 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, I mean, it's one of those deals. And let's talk about the Chiefs here. Juju was on point with 2 receptions and 60 yards. Xavier Worthy, 6 receptions, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Hollywood Brown with 3 receptions, 35 yards. Travis with 2 receptions, 19. Perrine, 1 reception, 17. Pop had 2 receptions for 12 yards. D-Hop, 1 reception for 11 yards. And Kareem for receiving, 1 reception for 6 yards. So, I mean, this was just a back and forth game, and we knew taking on the Bills is going to be a back and forth game. That's just all it's going to do, you know. I expected it. Like, I was more worried about this game than I was against the Texans, and that might be ignorance on my part. But the fact of the matter is just like, what happens now? There. I believe for the championship game alone, there are 43 players on the Chiefs team that have experienced the championship game before, whether it be for the Chiefs or another team. As far as I am aware, there are no injuries. There's nothing of that sort. It's good for us. And plus, even if there was an injury or what have you, we still have 2 weeks time until we're in New Orleans. So, I mean, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine as long as everybody stays healthy. There's no crazy injuries that happen when they are in practice. It's going to be just fine. I'm excited for it, and I know that with Shaquan Barkley, Jalen Hurts, that's a hell of a combination right there for Philadelphia. And they're, with Jalen, with his legs and with his quarterback sneaks and this and that, if they play the game like they did 2 years ago, then I'm going to be honest, the Chiefs are going to be in trouble. They're going to have a lot. They see when they're going to set up for a quarterback sneak or for a running play, but yet they somehow have a hard time stopping it. Sometimes I think the majority of the time they have a hard time stopping it. I don't know why, but they do. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, what do we do? What do we come up with game plan here? First and foremost, the big concern that I hadn't seen all season, I could be wrong on this. I don't think I am, but the drops that Patrick and Pop had. I know that they were doing a fake handoff, but it just got tied up in somebody's hands and they dropped it and they gave possession back to Buffalo. That's going to be a big time deal if they do that in the Super Bowl. You've got to watch your hand placement. You've just got to know. At this point in time, Pop and Pat should just have that in muscle memory. They should have that in muscle memory that this is where the ball is going to be, this is where your hands are, and this is when I'm going to pull back so it doesn't bump into you while you're running. And that's something that you just do in practice until it's just implemented in your brain. When it comes to receptions, I didn't really see too much problems in the reception wise. I thought it was more so just overthrown or underthrown balls. And that's just life. It wasn't like we threw it to somebody and it bounced out of their hands when they were in the end zone, like Andrews from Baltimore. It wasn't like anything like that. There was an underthrown pass to Xavier. It got to the fingertips and then he dropped it, which was an incomplete. and then there might have been some overthrown passes to D Hop and this and that. But when it's all said and done, Travis does Travis things, D Hop does D Hop things, Juju on that beat does Juju on that beat things. Xavier looked amazing yesterday. I wish I could have seen more of him, but then also in the same sense, when you target somebody for so long, it just there's that coverage. That's when one of your weapons goes down. You're going to have to think of something on the fly. Um, so with that being said, it's just I'm excited. I still don't even know what I'm planning on doing for the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm going to be watching it at work, whether my boss likes it or not. I don't know if I'm going to be watching it at home. I don't know. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that despite what America says, I am excited for this game, not just because of the fact it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm excited because it's against Philadelphia, which is a very, very tough team. I'm also excited for the possibility of there being a three-peat, something that's never happened in the NFL, something that's never happened in my lifetime, my mother's lifetime, my grandfather's lifetime with the Kansas City Chiefs or Kansas City anything. Um, it'll be mom and I, essentially speaking, um, that will get to witness this, and I am more than ready for it. I'm more than ready. I'm more than happy. I'm more than excited to see this. I've got friends um, that are indefinitely trying on going to the Super Bowl. Some of them are season ticket holders, and they just got an email about uh, they can purchase tickets at a discounted rate or whatever the case may be. Um, I don't know what any of that stuff means, simply because of the fact that I am not a season ticket holder. Um, I'm too busy and I'm all over Kansas to be able to enjoy stuff like that. So, in all honesty, really, if you want to be real about this, and I know that there's going to be some fans out there, they're like, oh, you're not a real fan. Okay. Okay. I haven't been watching the game since like 92, 93, but what do I know? Um, I'm more than perfectly fine with just watching the game at home. I don't have to worry about traffic. I don't have to worry about drunken fans from opposing teams. I don't have to worry about this or that. Um, it just it is what it is. So I mean, um, you know, uh, let's see where this all goes. People are excited about it. People are happy about it. People have every right to be happy about this. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for their team, for their city, for all of that jazz. Um, and I believe wholeheartedly that if and I want to bring something up here too. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and they complete a three-peat, I mean that is just. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing: Kansas City should be absolutely rocking that day, and I'm really hoping that you have people out there that will be enjoying themselves and celebrating in a safe way. Don't be like those people that are literally just going to tear up the city, and then you have other people that it affects, such as your safety workers and people that are trying to get to work, who work late or overnights, whatever the case may be. Um, for love of Christ, guys, don't tear up the city. Just celebrate. Just have fun. I don't even care. Shoot off fireworks. I mean, somebody shot off a firework at like 5:45 this morning, and it it is what it is. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, um, yeah, let's just be responsible when it comes to that stuff. We don't need any politics or anything like that. Um, I am I I w- I would be absolutely shocked in all honesty, especially um after last year, if and mind you, I'm talking metaphorically because obviously we don't know um if we're going to win or not. But what I'm trying to say is this: I would be absolutely surprised if we have the Super Bowl celebration at Union Station again. I think everybody knows the reason why. If you don't know, there's a shooting that did not need to happen. but it did. Luckily, the kids were apprehended later on. But what all that means is basically the fact that um, uh, trying to think here. God, there's just so much going on. What am I doing here? Um, Long story short, I would be surprised because of the shooting last year in Kansas City. That shouldn't have happened, but happened. If they have the celebration at Union Station, I think it needs to be indoors somewhere. I think, in all honesty, actually, not so much indoors. Let's just have it at Arrowhead. Let's have it at Arrowhead. Let's just do it over there. Um, Everybody knows where Arrowhead is at. Everybody knows that. I mean, especially with security and this and that. They can scan people. No backpacks, no nothing. This is just a celebration. Um, yeah, um will there be traffic and this and that going from downtown Kansas City to Arrowhead? Probably, but we live in the city, so it's bound to happen. Um, if they're going to have it at Arrowhead, they really need to do something where they can just organize it um, to a better um, location. They I don't even know how. So the city, so where PNL is at, Power and Light, where the Sprint Center is, T-Mobile Center, whatever that wants to be called this year, um, and this and that is just on the other side of the bridge per se from Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium. Um, they're close. There's a little bit of a drive, not long at all, but you know, um, if they did something like that, like maybe if they did the parade in the morning and then they moved everything on over to Arrowhead and people were ready to roll by like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, you can get tickets ahead of time. You won't be able to get tickets like the day of. Um, they would have people to organize it. They would have people to, um, tell you where to park and this and that. And then um, you just you park, you go into Arrowhead, you get scanned by security, and done deal. It's done. Um, so I mean, if they did something like that, that would be um, that would be good, in my opinion. Um, I think that if anything, even if they did not do it at Arrowhead, maybe they could do it at PNL. I mean, it wouldn't hold everybody, and that's just the breaks. But I mean, unfortunately, in this world, you just you got to do what you got to do, and it's not fair. It sucks. Um, but I mean, you know, it it's one of those things that you have to be organized, you have to be prepared, you have to be ready for everything. It's not fair. I really wish we could keep it at Union Station, but obviously that's just not the breaks because somebody has to ruin it for everybody. Somebody has to ruin it for everybody, and the sad thing is, it had nothing to do with the Chiefs at all. It was a group of kids that were beefing, and one pulled out a gun because nobody fights with their hands anymore. And unfortunately, a local radio DJ was shot and killed that afternoon. Um, and I remember that day because I was not able to go to the parade. Um, I was working my security shift, and I even got radioed by dispatch to see if I was going to be able to make it on over to downtown Kansas City. And I told them by the time I would get over there, uh, KCPD and everybody else would have had it handled. So there was no point of me being there. And that was before I knew um, all the news and this and that. It was very man. It was heartbreaking. It was absolutely heartbreaking. Um, so when it comes right down to it, it's one of those things, you know. Um, it's one of those things that you just what do you even say? What do you even say? You know, I mean, you can't just not avoid it. It's life. It's the world. The world is completely different than it was back in the '90s. So I mean, um, sad to see how things have rolled to this point. But as long as we're prepared, as long as you're prepared, as long as everybody else is prepared to be able to do what we do and this and that, then I mean, in all actuality, it'll work out. It'll be a little bit of a change, but it will work out. And I think that's the importance of it all is just exactly how things roll and this and that. Follow us on the Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at IE Sports Radio. Go to iesportsradio.com/this is KC Sports. Also, IE Sports Radio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, our Radio, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz. Um, um, it It's a good time. It really is. I'm sorry. It's been a little bit rough today. Um, Also, I want you guys to check out our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. GetRawNutrition.com and use the promo code IESR for 10% off. You can't go wrong with nutrition. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I work in dispatch, and one of my other dispatch officers, he is from India, so the native land. And he's doing this whole thing with vitamins and nutrition and this and that. He's educating me on this. And, especially since our bodies are not uh, young anymore. um, it's good time. It's good time. I don't know where I'm going with this. There's just absolutely so many distractions here. I can tell you this. Uh, when it comes to the Philadelphia organization, um, I want nothing more, despite the three-peat, nothing more than to beat and to see cry Nick Sirianni. I do. I do. I just do. I just do. And I think that is absolutely perfect for how we're going to end the show. Make sure you follow us on the Twitter. This is KC_IESR. You can come follow me at Real Franchise. There's a lot of strangers that have followed me in the last 24 hours. I'm getting a lot of trolling and what have you, stuff I can't even say on the show. I know coming from me, I can't say it. If I can't say it, then you know that it's pretty bad here. But please do. Please do. I don't bite and whatnot. I'm a very civilized Chiefs fan. I see things from both sides. I just I don't play games. Anyways, though, we're going to go ahead and just end the show for today. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel, episode 81 of This is KC Sports. Also, keep in mind, any type of topics you want to talk about, Kansas City related, please holler at me at this is KC_IESR. Let me know what you'd like to talk about, and I will check it on out within the week, and I'll come up with some bullet points of what we can talk about and discussion of the said thing that you want to talk about and this and that and all that good jazz. I love talking to people. I love talking to the listeners or the viewers of the show. And it's a great time. It's a great great time for everybody. I am just all over the place. I think it's just best that we're just going to go ahead and end the show just a teeny bit early or whatnot. 2-hour break, and then we have some more great shows on the way for us this afternoon. It's always a great time with IESR, especially when Brandon has his shit together. That's not the case today, which is totally fine. I have no sleep. I think people can understand that. And so, yeah, it is one of those deals. 7 p.m. tonight, Chi-Town Weekly, and then The Extra Mile. And then at 8 o'clock, it is Set Point. 3 3 remaining shows for this afternoon. Make sure you stay tuned and watch it. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for dealing with this train wreck today. I promise I'll do a little bit better next week. This is Brandon the Franchise Buck, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the owner of the world. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that sports. Until next week, folks, I'll catch you down the road.